Hi, everyone. I'm going to give it just a second to make sure all of our technology is in working order and everybody's coming in. As you come on into the live, if you could give me a little hello, a little wave on the comments, I'd appreciate it, just so I know I'm communicating with you guys effectively and you're seeing and hearing me. I'm Dr. Sally Lynch. I am a veterinarian with Lap of Love. I've been with Lap of Love for about 5.5 years now. Definitely, it's been such an honor to serve everybody who's shared so much love for their pets. And I love doing what we do in terms of supporting our families. So I'm happy to have you guys here with me to discuss the topic of thermal support for our senior pets. Now, what does thermal support mean? All that means is that we're supporting our pet's ability to maintain a healthy core temperature. So normally our pets are running about between 100 to 101, 102 degrees. That's kind of their normal thermal range where their core temperature wants to be. Um, and yes, if you have a question, please put it in the chat. I will certainly try to address those as we go or at the end. But yeah, that's what thermal support means is we're assisting them in maintaining that core body temperature. So this happens to our body too, but as we get older and our pets, if we or our pets' bodies change, we're less capable of maintaining a healthy core temperature. So we tend to feel colder or we tend to feel hotter, and we can't quite adjust that temperature as nicely as we could when we were young. And that can happen for a number of reasons, things like loss of muscle mass or, development of fat deposits in new places, potentially even health issues like heart disease. These things can all contribute to our ability to keep our core temperature happy. And so with our senior pets, there's definitely some things we can offer them to give them some more comfort in our homes and protect them from becoming too hot or too cold when it's harder for them to adjust that temperature on their own. So this is super relevant right now because I don't know if you guys are all experiencing this heat wave, but here in Memphis, it is hot. It is hot all the time. We're easily reaching 100 degrees outside every single day. And so I have a senior girl. She just turned 13. She is very sensitive to the heat. Our senior pets are just less capable of dealing with very hot temperatures. And if they do get heat stroke, or if they get heat exhaustion, their bodies just don't recover as well. So we want to make sure that we do a couple of things when we're thinking about preventing and taking care of our pets, our seniors in this hot weather. Definitely the first rule of thumb is we don't take our seniors out in the heat of the day. Their little bodies they're going to pick up that heat. They're going to hold on to that heat a lot faster and longer. So trying to walk our senior dogs really early in the morning before the temperatures get high, and in the evenings, potentially even after the sun goes down, so much better for them, and it helps them maintain a healthy core temperature. The other things I would highly recommend doing is choosing shady areas to walk in, trying to avoid hot pavement or hot asphalt, because that's going to help to prevent radiation from the ground to overheating them from below, and then the sun coming down on them from above. So picking shady areas to walk in and keeping them off pavement when you can is also a great way to keep their temperatures a little happier, especially if you have to take them out in the middle of the day. So very early morning and very later in the evening walks, best for our senior kids, best for any animals at this temperature, honestly. But additionally, my girl, when she comes in from a hot, a warm temperature walk, I keep my walks very short for her, and I highly recommend you keep seniors on a short walk, short outings, to avoid them overheating. But when my dog comes in, I have a cooling area for her, and that can be a huge support to our pets that really need that extra help to cool off. So things like cooling pads are wonderful. You can get those online on Amazon. So cooling pads for them to lay down on and get all that nice cool thermal support and bring their body temperatures down. A fan is a great thing to do for them. Small desk fans are wonderful to just have on the ground at their level, so they're getting that nice cool airflow. You want to remember to use a fan indoors so you're not blowing hot air. That's not going to help them. But if you're in an air conditioned area and you can give them that nice cool burst of air, That might help bring that temperature down faster when they come back from outside. Yeah, I see a suggestion for a cooling vest or a bandana. Also, awesome options. I haven't tried those in my own, but especially if you have to take your pet out in the middle of the day, I think those would be great options to just again give them that thermal support so they're not as likely to get overheated. Other things that I would certainly recommend, yeah, sometimes we should bump down the AC temperature a little bit, give them a couple extra degrees lower, because that is ultimately going to really support their ability to regulate that body temperature when they come back into the house. And of course, making sure they have plenty of cold or cool water and encouraging them to drink when they come in from being outside. You can encourage them to drink even by adding a little bit of chicken broth to their water, making it taste nice for them, or putting water in with their canned food and increasing their water intake that way. Yeah, I see somebody mentioned a pet with laryngeal paralysis. They can't breathe or pant as comfortably as they used to. And so if they get overheated, that can really cause some problems. So we just want to avoid that or help them to cool down as quickly and as effectively as possible. Yeah, a lot of dogs are going to choose the bathroom floor or choose the hardwood over, say, carpet or their beds because it's just too warm. And so having all those supports are a great way to help them manage their body temperatures a little more effectively. We also want to remember that our pets can get cold. Again, loss of body condition, health conditions, especially our senior kitties and our small dogs, they may not be able to maintain a warm body temperature as easily as they used to. And so this might look like a cat that is just constantly on your laptop or behind a television, looking for that extra source of external heat to help warm them up. Cats are always going to be sunners. I mean, most cats are solar powered, right? But if your cat is constantly seeking that external heat source, it may mean that, hey, you got the AC turned down for the big dog, but now our senior kitty's getting a little chilly. And feeling chronically chilly can mean that we have problems with circulation issues. It can also mean that we may not be metabolizing or utilizing medications that we're taking as well. So a chilly body is not really doing itself any favors. So what can we do for those little babies that may need heat support rather than cooling support? There's a couple things that I love. I really like heated pet beds. You can get those online. Definitely something that you need to do a little bit of research and see what you think works best for your pet in terms of size. But there are heated pet beds. Additionally, you can kind of make your own. I use heat pads from CVS or Walgreens. Couple of things that we want to remember though, if we're using any kind of external heat source, we want to make sure that we keep them safe for our pets. And that may mean, or that always means, leaving them at a low setting. We don't ever want to crank up the temperature on any of these heat sources for our pets. And we want to keep a towel or a blanket always in between our pet's skin and the source of the heat. And the main reason we want to do those things is for protection against thermal burns, because even though we want them to be supported by these resources, we certainly would not want their skin to burn. And sometimes our seniors have thin skin, or sometimes they're not able to get up and get off of the heating source as effectively or as efficiently as they need to prevent themselves from being burned. So always lowest possible setting for any kind of heat source, any kind of electric heat source. And also always having a barrier, a blanket or a cover or a pillow that we want to have that barrier between our pet's skin and that source of heat. Some people like to use warm water bottles. That's great too. You just need to make sure that you test that the heat on that sensitive part of your arm, much like you would a baby's bottle. If that's too hot for you, it's going to be too hot for them. And again, wrapping that heat source in a towel and offering it to them in their beds or like cuddled up to you next to the couch, on the couch. These can be great sources of comfort and can slowly increase that core temperature by providing that nice skin contact. Additionally, certainly we can think about putting little sweaters on them and giving them that thermal support as well to keep that core temperature in rather than letting it dissipate out. So one thing that this is just a little tip to help us understand how our pets can really benefit from helping them to maintain a better core temperature. It can help with their health overall, certainly can help with their comfort levels. And by doing those things, we can continue to boost their quality of life and keep them happier. Um, yeah, I know that, and we have some mobility concerns too. Certainly, especially if dogs are choosing to lay on cold tile floors or cold hardwood floors instead of like the carpet because it is warm, we can start seeing them struggle to get up a little bit more on those floors. I would, Dr. Nelly did a wonderful Facebook Live recently about mobility. I would definitely suggest, like she did, maybe a yoga mat. So something that's nice and thin. It's not going to collect a lot of heat, but it's still going to offer that pet some traction to help him get up off that floor when he's ready, without, like I said, being a source of thermal discomfort for him. So that's one thing I would highly, suggest. Any kind of supplements or anything like that, you should always talk to your veterinarian about. Make sure that we have a physical exam before any recommendations like that are made. But these kind of general thermal supports are typically something that you guys can find pretty easily and trial them out, see what they like. My pet, particularly, she will use her cooling mat. This has actually been great because it's actually let her sleep in her big fluffy bed again. For a while, she was sleeping in it, and then, ooh, it was getting too hot overnight, and I'd see her get up and walk around and look for a cooler spot. But when I put this at the bottom of her bed, she's a lot less likely to get up in the night. She sleeps more comfortably in her bed. So that's what's worked for us. But absolutely, you can do some trial and error and see what works for you. I think a lot of senior pets can benefit from these kinds of tips, and certainly you may find that their cooling mat or their little heat source bed may be their new favorite spot to hang out and seek comfort in your home. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope that these tips have been helpful for you, and certainly if there's any questions, I'll try to see them in the chat. And if I don't answer your question right now, please know we will circle back with more answers as best we can over the next couple of days. Yeah. Yeah. If you have, you know, questions about, and you're right, like, I see some comments regarding health issues that may be affecting our ability to compensate for outside temperatures right now. Certainly always seek veterinary assistance, meaning a full physical exam. And sometimes there's recommendations for blood work to look into what health issues may be contributing to our inability to deal with hotter temperatures or even deal with colder temperatures. So yeah, I would highly recommend seeking a veterinary exam if you have significant concerns about things like eyes or ears in the hot weather, or significant respiratory changes that you're noticing, significant ones that are causing real detriment. Yeah. So yeah, I'm seeing so much love for senior pets on the chat. This is wonderful. I know a lot of people take really wonderful care of their senior babies. Yeah. So I think that that is the time that we have today. I so appreciate everybody being here and being present and coming out and looking for more information for your senior babies. And please let us know if you have further questions that come up. I will be happy to. Oh, I see one question about shaving double coated dogs. Yeah. Oh, and a cat. How does shaving a long-haired cat contribute to thermal regulation? So, if the Kit Kat is indoors, I don't think it's going to necessarily contribute a lot. If it's an indoor cat, I would probably not shave their coat. If it's becoming matted and it's becoming like uncomfortable for them because they're not grooming as often, that would definitely be something to address with your veterinarian. There may be some needs for some pain medications if there's arthritis involved there. And sometimes we do shave down kitty cats to help eliminate that really bad matting that's becoming uncomfortable. But in terms of thermal regulating, I probably wouldn't mess too much with their hair coats. It's really very animal dependent based on the breed of that animal. So definitely something to consider with your groomer, or with a veterinarian who may be able to better address what's going on, if there's matting or if there's significant changes to the hair coat that's contributing to their inability to thermal regulate. Well, thank you guys so much for all coming out and participating. I really appreciate it. I am going to take my own little girl out for her very short potty break because it is hot outside, and sending lots of love to all of our senior babies out there. Take good care of each other. Stay cool and stay hydrated. Bye bye.